right, everybody, welcome. It's another fun and fantastic episode of the High Five Guys. You've got two great hosts, Todd and myself, and it is a wonderful day out today. We actually had some showers earlier today, but we're going to bring the sunshine on this new episode for you. And we've got a great topic for you today outside of just the high fives at the end of the episode. Today, we are going to talk about some pet peeves, and we are going to talk about some superstitions and maybe some quirks. And hopefully you can relate to them. I'm sure everybody's got, your own pet peeves and quirks, and I think it's going to be a fun episode. What do you think, Todd?
Love it. Yeah. How's everybody doing? Good to see you again. Episode 8, right? Is that correct?
It's 8. It could possibly be 9.
It's one of those. Yeah, we are a bit backlogged at the moment, so we're clearing them out. But no kind of lucky or unlucky number just yet. So no superstition on the episode itself.
That's right.
Yeah, but I'm ready to rock this.
They are all good. And actually, kick things off, I think it'd be fun to tell everybody I've done some research on our show and how people are watching it or listening to it, how people are tuning in. And it is interesting that so far in the first set of episodes, a lot more people have been tuning in via Apple iTunes or Spotify. So like the podcast format versus the YouTube video format. And
I would have expected that from being, we're not going like super short format, right? So it's again, I mean, we've talked about it. We try to keep it to a half hour, but we've been in that hour range. And that's in that zone where it's like you want to be the accompaniment to people like cleaning their car or something, right? Or commuting to work and have it on the radio or whatever, right?
Yeah. Yep. And it's a fair point. So I just wanted to throw it out there. It's almost about 3 to 1. So probably 3 times as many listeners, if you will, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts versus YouTube.
And how about Apple versus Spotify itself? How close? I mean, I know our numbers are minuscule, but just out of
unreal.
Out of
no, I what I can see is Spotify is number 1. But I've had good feedback. People who I've talked to said, I found your podcast. I've listened to it on, Apple Podcasts. I've listened to it on Spotify. No issues. I know the last couple episodes, actually, instead of using the audio only, I did the video, where we loaded the video so we could just save on time instead of doing one versus the other. And people have said, oh, no issues on having, video on Spotify. It's interesting. So it's good information, and I bet you know what we don't have the most of yet, and that's subscribers. Like, subscribe, share this podcast.
I wonder, do we know of anybody, like, even through comments or something, like people who we don't know at all who have listened or watched? Have you experienced that? Or I know mine have been with people who I know.
Okay, yeah. I don't have or can't say I've seen any feedback or listeners from just random strangers or any comments yet.
I bet there's one. There's a Brenda in Wisconsin or something who picked us up somehow.
I love it. Let's give her what she wants.
All right. Thanks, Brenda.
Absolutely. Todd, any highlights? I know you had a show this weekend. How did it go?
Show was awesome. Yeah. I've been dealing with this weird vocal issue recently. I had this once like a year ago where just occasionally, you go too hard, and I do like pretty full range singing. I go for like really high notes and stuff, I guess one way of saying it. And, I try escaping out of my vocal range quite a bit. I really push it at certain times. And I think because of that, I am susceptible to some injuries. I'm also not like classically trained any of that kind of stuff. I know to warm up now. I know to like drink a lot of tea and all that kind of stuff. But occasionally I have these things where it's like I kind of like damage vocal cords, and Yeah, this one's been like I tried to rest it for close to a week and it just wasn't quite enough. It wasn't like I didn't have a voice. It's just within about 2-3 songs, I felt it creeping up on me already. And I was like, oh no, it's a rough feeling because
Wow.
it'd be like as if you went to run a marathon, right? And by mile 5, you're like, I just don't have everything that I normally have. You're kind of hitting the wall
Yeah.
at like mile 5. It's that kind of feeling. So I kind of coasted the rest of the way. I mean, I even did dumb stuff. I did like a Journey song towards the end.
Now,
Not
some people,
advisable at
I,
all.
I'll say some people might hate you for that because you're saying that's dumb stuff for Journey.
Oh,
But
dumb as a strategic choice for me. Amazing song. I love that song, but
that's a good jam. Yeah.
not a wise choice like later on in a show when your voice is already bothering you a bit. So, but whatever. I mean, we had a great time, great show. Awesome people showed up, great talent showed up, great guest performances. Got good videos out of it. Just one of those like nights, no technical difficulty. Everything went great.
Awesome.
And I did a bike ride through Central Park earlier that day. That was awesome.
That's how'd it go? Surprisingly
Fantastic.
hilly.
Yes, when you do the full when you do the full loop. I never even knew the existence of like that northern corner too. I'd never been anywhere near there in like the 100s, the 114s. I think more on the western side. It's this part that I've never. It didn't look familiar at all. I've been to Central Park quite a few times.
Sure.
So that was interesting, but so many people. You were just the main thing. It wasn't like, okay, yes, I'm out of shape, right? Like I was pedaling and it was getting hard faster than it should have. But dodging people and dodging other bikers and not getting run over by the people who are like on road bikes who are actually going real fast. That was by far the most difficult thing. Way more than like just the the workout or whatever itself.
I mean, I have run. I think I definitely run around Central Park. Not just that. Like the marathon was a portion of it, but I don't know if I've done. Yeah, I don't, and I don't know if I've done the bike around the entire Central Park.
Awesome. It's like Stacy told me something like right in the neighborhood of 6 miles, 6.3, I think she said 6.2. If you just do like that normal loop, something like that. I was filming as we were going to. I was getting some like selfie videos and actually more videos of her. But it came out. It was just a really good day. It was perfect weather. So yeah, we had a great time. It was awesome.
Terrific.
And then the show later on that same day. Yeah. How about you? Did anything happen in your neck of the woods? Like quiet, right? Nothing going on.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all. This weekend. I mean, there was this little horse race called the Belmont that went on, and it was the first time ever in Saratoga. So all the years that they've had it, normally it's on Long Island, out there in Belmont, New York, but they're doing some work. Doing some construction. So I know this year, so 24 and 25, they're doing it in Saratoga. And it started
you're
off
already
with
set next year too.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Okay.
I will say, like, they did a really nice job. They had a bang up like concert welcome to the Belmont in Saratoga on Wednesday night, which is really cool. Blues Traveler was there. Saw their perform. It was good. They at least started with their number one song, in my opinion, which is "Run Around."
Yeah. That was on the radio for constantly. Yeah,
their number one song. I think they played several songs.
I remember that song. Hook. Okay.
So there's probably one or two other songs I know, but it was packed. So they shut down Broadway. The concert was on the northern side of Saratoga. I mean, there was probably a good 10,000 plus people.
Wow.
At this concert. It
just
felt
like more people than you've ever seen in one place in your town. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had horse races Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Surprisingly, Thursday, Friday, from what I heard, was actually lighter than expected. even though the weather was pretty good.
Hmm.
Saturday morning was a little iffy, but that was Belmont Day. And I ended up in Saratoga 3 times that day. One time to do a run. So I did a run first thing in the morning to kind of just be there and experience everything. You see some of the horses on the practice track jogging. You saw some of the jockeys. People were already queuing in line for getting in. The doors open at 9 a.m.
Yeah.
And so there was a line before that. And then midday, Joe and I went there to just walk around downtown Saratoga, which was really cool. Just everybody was out and about. There were a lot of people already at the track, but even downtown was nice. It was still busy. People dressed up. All you picture the hats, you see it on TV. A lot of women, really fun hats. Cute dresses. The men had some ridiculous type of suits and like fedoras, just crazy ensembles.
So even a different level of like when we went to that they have that memorial typical race, right? The yearly, like their big race. Totally different level than that. Yeah,
I would say it was that on steroids. I think Travers has got some good outfits. This was definitely just above and beyond. And then I ended up going the final time early afternoon, and I wore the suit and I was out there.
Man.
And it was incredible. I unfortunately did not get in. So they had capped it to 50,000 people. I did not have a ticket. I kind of went in blindly and saying maybe they'll open some tickets up, which they actually did earlier in the day. They sold through it. But next door to that, the Saratoga race course is a cool bar. So it had a drink. You could watch the races. I had my Naira Bets app, so I could still like bet on the races and like a minute. So I lost, I think, $12 when all was said and done.
Did you win anything at any point, or no? It was all losers.
I did. Oh. I had a place is one of the bets I did. So the horse has to finish first or second, and so I did win in that bet. But it was tough, and the Belmont. I mean, Dornock, who was probably third to last in terms of odds, 17-1, really just led from the front and had a great race. It was a great race by that. The weather was perfect. The sun was out. I mean, it was just a wonderful weekend. And I know I'm kind of going on and on. It was great for what it was worth. I think the Belmont, I think it was a great time for Saratoga. A lot of new people in town. Some celebrities out and about here and there. Didn't get to see him. I actually thought I'd see a few more celebrities, and maybe they all were hiding. Maybe they all were in the 1863 Club, which is a new sort of club.
Probably. Yeah.
What's it called? At the racetrack that was renovated. I didn't see anybody.
Yeah, they're probably, for the most part, not just sitting out there in the sun with the commoners, right?
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
I did get this cool little cup. So it says Belmont Stakes in Saratoga. So that's kind of fun. So I do have that. It was a great time. It was a wonderful weekend. We did have hit and miss, just some weird weather off and on, but overall, wonderful weekend. Appreciate you asking. It was good. Yeah. I mean, to me, that's the highlight of the week.
And I saw that the regular season opens up like July 11th, right? So
yes, yep. So about a month from now,
mid-July. What do you think?
I think it's time to go to the track.
Okay. We might have to make that happen. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I can find an open mic night for us too up here.
Oh, okay. Don't tempt me with a good time. Threaten me with a good time like that. All right, cool.
It was a great weekend.
Nice, good update. Yep, I've been waiting to hear that. I've been waiting to not ask you about it till we ran this podcast. So yeah, good to hear.
It was fun. What do you think about hitting things off with these pet peeves that people get annoyed about?
Yeah. Yep.
So I do have a list too. So I think something unique or different than what we've done in the past is I even have like a top 10 list of pet peeves.
Yeah.
And I think then we can share and see if any of them really annoy us. But I've also got two or three that I wrote down in particular that really bother me, like when I'm out and about and seeing it in my everyday life. And I
Yeah.
don't know if they're on this list. This list is new to me. It's going to be new to us. And
Okay, nice. Yep.
and then, yeah, love to know if any of these trigger you as well. Right? The word
Let's start
trigger.
it.
So, okay. So on pet peeves, top pet peeves, this is actually from, I don't know, I'm going to say a global website. I have no idea. It's a more recent list
Okay.
of pet peeves here. So one of them I have, or what I hear or in the top 10 is chewing loudly and drinking loudly. Does that bother you?
Definitely
Or may,
does. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, for sure. Less if you're like outside at some barbecue, whatever kind of thing, same way that like I think bugs are like 10 times more offensive when it's inside, right? Compared to, outside doesn't particularly bother me. Similar thing to that. That would be
Okay.
my answer there. How about you?
Yeah, I don't think it bothers me as much as being on we'll call it a top list here. I myself
Oh,
chew loudly. Apparently, if you ask Joe, it's quite loud, and so I know I talk loud. I feel like I don't have an inside voice. It's not as bad for me, so I'm gonna say that I get it. I get it,
okay.
but for me,
Yeah, it's
not as
not
bad.
it's not wouldn't be like a top 5 that I think about. Yeah, would probably be outside my top 10. But I don't love it.
What
Uh,
about, you might like this one? It's what about interrupting or being
oh,
interrupted?
okay. That's more in my top 5 kind of thing. Yeah. I dislike that. Especially if you're like getting into a good story, right? I mean, I get it. There's situations where it's everybody is just cutting each other out, or you're in some loud bar, or whatever it is, right? But if you're
Yeah.
having like some kind of discussion and it's whatever, it's going back and forth a little bit, but you get into something like a little heavier, or not even heavy, but even philosophical or something you care about, and just the type of thing where you want to put a few extra thoughts into it. Um, and the person is just kind of like distracted, or yeah, it just comes back with some response that's just doesn't even line up with it. Like, yeah, that, or try to finish your sentence and they finish it in a way that like you don't agree with. That'll drive me batty. If they do, by the time they do it 3 or 4 times, I start going nuts.
That I can respect that. I know that interrupting. I am not really an alpha male, and I say that because I feel like I do probably more listening than talking, generally speaking. Even though like I
Mm.
feel like I can contribute into conversations, podcasts. This has been great. A lot of good back and forth, but I do tend to finish people's other sentences or thoughts if I think I know what it
Oh,
is.
you know what? Yes, and it is a common human thing, and actually it is one of those things. It's like if you're doing it in a way that I'm like, oh wow, we're on the same wavelength. Like you're reading my mind. Like, oh wow, we're soulmates, right? Then it's like kind of nice. But when you're finishing them wrong,
Yeah.
so it's almost
Yeah.
this risk reward thing. When you finish them wrong, I can't stand that. That like
Okay.
I'm not the
Yep.
type of, just like most people I think sit back and are just kind of, it's one of those where you're just kind of, you don't say anything. I come back and I'm like, yeah, not what I was thinking. Like I will actually say stuff like that. If you do it too many times and I'm
Yeah.
over it, I'm done with you finishing the wrong way. I will definitely call it out. So
There it
yeah.
is. I like it. You will destroy them. That they are done.
Yeah.
Now, this next one I definitely can get behind. It's being late.
Oh,
Now, I'll say here's my problem with being late. Like I do agree. I think being late on a regular basis, whatever. Like there's that one person that's late. Unfortunately, it's happened to be me over, the last several years. I've gotten worse and worse when it comes to my timeliness on things.
Really?
And
Huh.
yeah, and I've read though as well, if you end up just being occupied so much, right? You don't have downtime. Your mind is all over the place, or you have so many things going on in your head. You try and pack too much in your on your plate, and you think you can get a task done in 15 minutes when it takes 25 or 30, and by the time you get to what you need to do, you're already late. And
Oh, so
that
you're
to
not
me
just
is what
sitting
happens.
around idle. You just have all
No.
these things lined up.
Yes.
Ah, got it. Okay.
So that is me. So I have
Okay.
traditionally, especially, going back down to the Poconos, I say I'm going to leave at 7 a.m. Good intentions. By the time I get everything wrapped up in the morning, I'm on the road by like 7:20, 7:30. It's usually a half hour. It's very frustrating, and I used to be so much more punctual.
Uh,
I get it.
that's also not a lot. You're not talking about a large scale there. Yeah, and well, I will say too. We're not together all the time, right? But we see each other every handful of months or whatever. I hadn't noticed a major trend. I mean, I've always thought of you as like actually really punctual. When we were closer together.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, you
Okay.
were
I'll take
always.
that.
Yeah, I would put you in the extra punctual category during that time. So you might have settled back into sort of like a normal punctuality. I think among society, like if people judged you, I bet maybe you settled, you've dropped from super to like normal. That'd be my guess.
Nice. Nice. What's your take on it though? Being late. Good, bad,
Oh,
bother you? Not
it
bother
bothers
you?
me. Yeah, I start doing stuff like I just start. Yeah, I get this. I start having this countdown timer thing going, and I'm trying to think of like shortcuts I can take as I'm driving, and I start going through like something starting in 17 minutes, and Google's telling me I have like 23 minutes left to go. I'm just adding up. I'm like, why didn't I just leave 10 minutes earlier? Why was I lounging in bed for an extra 10 minutes or whatever? I don't usually have the as good of a like, oh, I was doing this and that and that. It's sometimes I just like lounge a bit in the morning. I don't like
Yeah.
rushing in the morning, even though I'm kind of a morning person, actually, especially when I was younger.
Yeah.
I just don't
Yep.
like rushing, even if it's whatever. I just don't like rushing. I think the times I do it is probably when it's like for a flight. That's the main time that I'm rushing in the morning. Otherwise, I sort of lounge my way through the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I love it. And I know you're a morning person too. Like we send text messages all the time. Early in the morning, early enough that
Yeah.
it's early.
I just
But
don't like to be
yeah.
like up, shower, dressed, chop this, that. Like I don't like that early in the morning. That's yeah.
Yeah, I used to be really bad in terms of packing stuff in. I used to wash the dishes, would do the laundry. I'd get up at 4 a.m. because I knew I had to drive to Pennsylvania by 6:37. I'd cook. I don't know what I would do. All this sort of stuff
Ah.
that early in the morning is nuts. I don't do that now, or as much, I should say. But the next one on the list, I love your thoughts on this. Talking during a movie.
Oh God. You know what? Okay. It depends on setting. If you're at home, I kind of don't mind it much at all.
Okay.
Especially if you're adding stuff, right? If somebody's adding flavor and spice to it, and this and that, they have some insight or whatever, right? Just interesting facts or something. I don't mind that at all. But
Okay.
yeah,
Yep.
in a movie theater, super annoying.
And I'm on the so I don't go to the movies much. It's certainly not like the last couple of years. It's been years since I've gone to a movie in the movie theater, but it definitely bothers me when you hear chirp chirp, you hear voices, and the laughs and all that stuff like that happens naturally. But like when you hear a conversation going and you're talking about, oh, I got to go pick up, Tony's, child and baby, watching them one night, and oh, what I don't know. It's bad. So I don't like it.
I think especially
So
something like, remember like Blair Witch Project?
I I don't think I've
Oh,
seen the whole thing.
it's not your style. Yeah, but just that type of movie, right? Where it's like you kind of have to like you just escape into this alternate reality, sort of, right? And you have to like live inside of it and just kind of be uninterrupted, or else it just can be kind of like silly and not
Yeah.
scary. But if you just fall into that world, I actually think that movie can be really scary. But yeah, if people were talking during that, it just would totally ruin it. That kind of movie, especially.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So all right, we've got some thoughts on movies. Now, what about people who walk slow? It's in the top. So I'm wondering if this is more
What do
so
you got?
because
You go first.
many people, yeah, maybe because many people, are in the city and have things to do. I don't know about like top on my list, but I do generally walk at a faster pace. Like I do get annoyed, and maybe this is part of like a pet peeve, but I get annoyed by people that walk slow and they're taking up valuable real estate. Maybe it's a sidewalk.
Yeah, okay,
Maybe
okay.
maybe it's somewhere else where there's not enough room and you are going slower than 99% of everybody else around you.
I love that part of it. The taking up room. You know what? That actually is easily in my top 5. Um, you're you get these oblivious people who are standing in the one doorway, the one passageway, the one hallway, right? And they got their shopping cart, and that's splayed out like across, and like Uncle Joe's over here, and then whoever's over here, and they're it's a wide area, and
Yeah.
they're taking up the whole thing at some super busy place, and just unaware, just totally oblivious. That so much more than the like slow walking. That yeah, that's like a top 3 for me, actually. I can't stand that one.
I like that. I like that. That's very good. What do you think? Here, I'm looking at the list here. This one, I don't know if I notice too much. Staring at someone's phone. Because now it's like nowadays technology is a part of it. So what if you're somewhere in the public, bus, transit type of environment, you're walking around and you catch people looking at your phone.
Oh, someone else
Or
looking at your phone, or yeah, other people looking at other people's
yeah.
phones.
Or you see me staring at your phone.
You staring at my
I'm
phone.
reading your text message. I don't know.
I
Maybe that just doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah, I can't say. I don't remember ever being in this scenario. Like
Okay.
I know I've
Yeah.
done it. I've you
That's
see
right.
you
Yeah.
somehow you just detect like something dramatic's going on or whatever, right?
Yes.
And then
Yep.
you're like looking up, and they have their laptop up or whatever, right, on a plane or something. You're sitting behind them on a plane or whatever it is, right? I've been in that maybe 3, 4, 5 times, and then you're like peeking at something. But
Yeah. Yep.
I don't think I've caught somebody doing it to me. I can't think of it.
Okay.
Must not be interesting
I
enough
know.
that people would think to do it.
Exactly. Same thing. I feel like maybe more so on the personal level. Sometimes I'll take a peek at Joe, like, what are you looking at on the phone? What's
Yeah.
interesting?
Mm.
I know she enjoys her personal time and space, which I invade quite often. Just get away. But I have to, realize that or do better. But, she's on her phone looking at stuff. Maybe I'll take a peek and, what are you looking at? So I'm guilty of that. Not in public though. I can't say I do that much in public. This one I don't know. Clipping your nails in public.
Oh,
Have you seen that? Like, is that
No,
happened to
I've
you?
seen it on like a video on YouTube or whatever, but no, I have not witnessed that myself. Not that I can remember. I mean, I probably did, like just somewhere weird, but yeah, I mean, obviously it would be annoying, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No, this one's a good one. Standing too close to another person. So that personal space. Does
yeah,
does that happen? Does it annoy you?
yeah. Yeah, that one's annoying. I've seen this in like grocery stores,
Yeah.
and that kind of area.
Yeah.
Um, I don't want to get myself into trouble here with particular ethnicities, whatever. I think people
Yeah.
probably know what I'm talking about here.
Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
I've experienced that where um, you're just going trying to get some peaches or something, and next thing you know, somebody is just in that space, like just way too close.
They're looking
I,
at the same peach as you. That's what.
yeah, and but even like just obliviously bumping into you and stuff, like and I feel like there's people that drive like that too, and so
Okay.
yeah, that's annoying. That
Yeah.
oblivious, uh, you know, s- space invader is annoying.
Yeah. That's a good nickname. I mean, I've experienced that. I can't say it's happened to me a lot, or where I've been annoyed because someone's been really close, but I can count, like there have been occasions where I felt someone in my space. I love what you said, like grocery store, like, do you have to be this close to me?
Yeah,
Or at the airport line, right? You're going through security,
yeah,
and maybe someone's like,
that
we're
could be
not
one.
going anywhere.
That's what.
There are
Yeah,
278 people in front of us. We are not going
yeah,
anywhere.
yeah. Waiting to get onto a plane or something, and it's just like just to get to your seat that's there. And I get it. Like some people think like getting to the overhead compartments is like this war that they want to win. But like yeah, they're all up in your business trying to like almost like cut you or something. Like yeah, that's really annoying.
Yeah. There are so many. So this list actually doesn't only have a top 10. There's
Oh, okay.
75.
Oh, geez, yeah. I don't think we want to do all those. Okay.
But I think it's interesting because there are still quite a few like good ones that we haven't talked about.
Is there one more
And
great one? Maybe find one more great one.
I'll do two.
Okay.
Turning without signaling. So you're driving
Okay.
and someone turns, it
Yeah.
could be in a lane, it could be making a real turn, stop sign, whatever, not signaling. What's your take?
It can be annoying. I mean, some people treat that like as if you stole their firstborn child, if you do that. Like we've all been in that situation, right? You've all been that person who, oh shoot, I didn't see my turn coming up and you're making a quick move or something, right? Like there's usually an explanation. A lot of times I feel like there's an explanation for it. I guess it's more annoying if there clearly was no reason for it. You just like don't signal. That's yeah, I think that's annoying. Um, but it doesn't rank that high for me. I don't know. How about you?
Uh, yeah, I probably am actually going a little bit the other way. I'm higher. It's
Oh,
it's an annoying habit to me where people like they just don't even signal on the highway, changing lanes, um, and especially like left turn, right turn lanes, making it, you're at a stop sign, you're at a traffic light.
mm,
Use your turn signal. Like I'm a it bothers me, right? So like again, the
okay.
best part is
Yeah.
like everybody's different. There are things that bother people more often than not.
Yeah.
That bothers me, and it'll bother me for 2 seconds, and then I'll go on to singing my Kelly Clarkson song. So that's where I'm at with that. I'll say the last one here because I've got some personal ones that somehow are not on this list, which is
Mm.
crazy. What about cracking knuckles?
Oh,
That's number 19 on the list.
it never particularly bothered me. I'm sort of like Yeah, I'm fairly indifferent on that one. That's definitely not a particular pet peeve for me. Yeah, how about for you?
It bothers me a little bit, but I don't hear it often enough. I think for it to me to be a top thing in my mind. I've done it more so on accident. I can't even say like I don't. That's not a thing I've done. I know kids, especially like growing up. I felt like there were kids in my class that would do that all the time. Like
Yeah.
they were known for cracking knuckles and they would
Yep.
go nuts. Not me.
Yeah, I don't know why that ever was a thing. We also had that. Yeah. There's
Nice.
always a knuckle crack dude. Yeah. I don't know why. Didn't bother me that much, but nothing I ever
That
cared to do myself.
this is it's a fun list. We're gonna add this to our, let's say, description of our video and see if people
Oh, yeah, yeah.
also
Good one. Yeah.
resonate with some of these, because yeah, this is a good list. There's
Yeah.
some really good ones here that we're just not gonna have enough time to talk to. But before I go into mine, do you by chance have any pet peeves that we didn't talk about? Is there like one or two that, wow, like
I
this
think
annoys
this
me?
may have been on your list. So kind of don't want to steal it, but whatever. I mean, we've gone through a bunch of them already. But definitely the distracted, not living the moment, staring at your device. You
Okay.
going out to dinner, you see a family of four, and like they're all on an iPad or a phone
Yeah.
and ignoring each other. Right? It's like, why are you
They're
even?
at dinner.
Yeah, why are you even out here? Like, I don't get it, and I get it. Like, okay, I don't have kids. I get it. Like, it's hard. It's very hard to raise kids, right? It's a ton of attention, all this stuff, but like, just doing that at the total substitution of the expense of like just having a conversation or just being like a
Yeah.
normal family, at least at some point, right? It's this is one little time of the day.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's terrible.
I I mean I agree with you. Like I that also bothers me. It's a shame, unfortunately, how addictive technology is, and I'm no slouch to it, but when it comes to out to dinner, when it comes to
Right.
really like having someone else's attention, right? A group of people, that is really a bad habit that unfortunately a
And
lot of people have.
we're here, and I'm sitting here watching you, like, past my phone, like that kind of thing, right? Like,
Wait, hold on. Yeah, maybe there's something on my phone. Just keep talking, Todd. I'm
yeah,
listening.
yeah, just like, I mean, and people are doing that in the real world. Like,
Yeah,
that's not with that at all.
there you go. Listen, all you people listening and watching, what are your thoughts on some of these pet peeves? I mean, Todd's got a good one there. I love it. For me, just some things I'd like to add. These are quick hitters. Shoes in the house. I, I mean, if you don't ask, then I don't know why I'm friends with you or why you're in my house. Like, at least ask if it's okay to wear shoes. But I'm
Mm.
big into no shoes in the house. That's how I was raised. Family was, you never wore shoes in the house because it's dirty. And then you're carrying all that dirt all around the house. That really bothers me, is wearing shoes in the house. Unless like you're okay with it. Like
No,
it's not
it
me.
makes a
Don't
lot
do
of
it.
sense, especially in like a
Don't.
carpeted house or something, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it just even on like a hardwood. I mean, you could easily, you drag little pebbles in, and next thing you know, you're scratching the floor or whatever, right? Yeah, all the various things you can bring in. So yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
That, yeah, I mean, pet peeve. Feet on the table. So like a coffee table. Again, maybe this is so personal, right? It's not on the list,
Mm.
but I'm just more so the coffee table. Maybe we put snacks on it. Maybe you're whatever. Don't put your feet on the table. Feet don't belong on the table.
Yeah,
If I put my foot on the table here, I'd probably dislocate something, but it just doesn't belong.
I am
that
with you
that
on that one. Yep,
that's my thought. And then
yep.
this one is just it does bother me. So if I'm driving, I'm pulling into a neighborhood supermarket, right? I'm ready to get some pastry that I'm really excited about. And I see somebody pull up next to me or pull into a spot, and there's an option to pull through. You can absolutely drive into a spot, and they don't do that. And they just park in that first spot. So they know they have to back up if someone pulls in opposite them. It really bothers me. There are a handful of occasions where maybe you're at Lowe's and you need to put stuff in your trunk, and it doesn't make sense to pull all the way through because your trunk might be blocked. I get it, but I get very triggered when people do not pull through in a parking spot.
And okay.
It really does bother me.
That's a good one. You know, it's the craziest. I mean, you know, it's not directly related, but like craziest parking lot experience I ever had. It was near Christmas time, and I'm coming down the lane. It was at Woodbury Commons up in New York.
Okay.
And I'm coming down the one lane, and so you know, your people were like battling over spots. This is a very busy area, and I'm coming up the lane, and spot opens up, and I start signaling, and I'm getting close to pulling in, and the other car is leaving. This other car comes flying around from the row over, and it was this Asian dude with like, you know, I don't know, just not that matters. It was an Asian guy with like two chicks in the car with him. And he comes flying around and he's like, "Oh, I called it from over there." He's telling me he called it from the lane over, and he had been signaling since like he saw it open up from like, I'm like, dude, it doesn't work like that. And and because of like he beat me into it physically because of the way, you know how like the way the leaving car goes out, right? Determines who's going to be able to get the spot. Like they boxed me out and opened the way to him, right? They just happened to go that way where I was boxed out. So he took that to go in. As I'm sitting there clearly signaling, like I'm in the lane, I'm signaling. All normal rules say like that's mine, right? Not the person who called, you know, dibsies from a row over. So that was crazy. Almost got in a fight. I'm not public fight guy at all. We were fairly close.
So that, I mean, that triggered you. I mean, that is, if you're waiting for a spot and someone pulls up and just somehow takes it.
It wasn't like, we weren't that close, but I mean, I was just like, that is not how it worked. Like he got a serious side of me. You know, I was explaining very sternly that is not how that works.
I love it. Listen, put them in their spot.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, as much as people are annoying, as much as, you know, heck, even myself, you know, I could be annoying. There's pet peeves. Things are going to bother people in different ways. And I think one thing about society, kind of spinning this into a positive, is, again, everybody's different. You know, what bothers someone may not bother someone else. And, you know, I know I'm sure Joe's got some, you know, pet peeves or just things that really bother her. And I think part of it too is just, as a human being, is just trying to understand it, especially with like friends, right? Or loved ones or relationships. Like, oh, you know, why does that bother you so much? You know, and then at least you can make it a point to either not do it or do it on purpose and see how much that annoys them.
And I mean, sometimes there's a very good reason for it, right? And it makes sense. Like, oh man, something you might even be particular to that person, and there's a reason why it affects them more than it affects other people. So like I like that, you know, like understanding why that person is triggered by that thing. I think that's a good insight.
It's helpful. Just like, you know, kind of weird, you know, going to work for a hot 2 seconds, but just how you work with someone other. You're someone other. That's not even English, but how do you work well with someone? When it comes to correspondence, do they like emails? Are they, you know, a Microsoft Teams person?
Oh yeah.
Do they like text message? Do they like all three of them at the same time? I find it very interesting. Everybody I work with does something different, or they like to receive messages in a different way. And I think it goes a long way to understanding and having a good working environment when you take the 30 seconds to say, how do you like it when I send this email or when I send this message to you on Teams? Is that the right way that you like to receive information? It's helped me out a
It's a
lot
good one.
already.
Yeah.
But now, you know what? Pet peeves, we've done enough of that. We've got a little bit of time here to talk about superstitions. And when I think, you know, we had talked about some topics, superstitions. What's interesting to me is there's some of these common superstitions about walking under a ladder is bad luck, or you find a 4-leaf clover, good luck, right? Those are some good examples. When I thought about some ideas or things to share, I think for me, it actually comes off more as quirks, or you could say superstitions, and maybe there's a reason why I do it, and I could share that. There are some top lists here that I have. You know, opening an umbrella inside is bad luck. Apparently, you shouldn't open your umbrella inside.
Yeah.
You got to do it outside. I will read the top 5 and see if any of these like trigger you or you absolutely agree with. Like, you know, this is, you know, good or bad. So number 1 says Friday the 13th, bad luck. So like it always, anytime it's Friday the 13th, do you at all think about bad luck that's going to happen to you?
I think as a kid, I did, but I can't think of it ever having any impact at all. Like, you know, I can't think of any time where I was like, oh, there it goes, Friday the 13th. Like, yeah, I've never had that experience. So, because of that, just never having seen it yourself. Yeah, to me, that just seems like just some weird historical anomaly or whatever. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, I don't pay attention too much to it. I actually think it's just kind of like a fun fact. Oh wow, Friday's the 13th.
I know it goes back to some ancient thing. There's some kind of like super old historical thing. I read it one time. I don't remember what it is. So yeah.
Yeah, I will say if you are in an elevator of a hotel, you'll probably notice most times there is actually not a 13th floor. And there's not even a button for 13. It goes 12 to 14. I can't say like that was something I certainly paid attention to as a kid, but as I've gotten older, these are just stupid fun facts that I like knowing.
It is crazy that something like that could, you know, is that ingrained into society, right? That is pretty wild, actually. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, next time you're in a hotel, take an elevator. I'm a big fan of the stair ride, but take an elevator and see if there's a floor 13. This one, the itchy palm means good luck. Did you know that?
Yeah, I think doesn't it mean like money is coming your way? That's what I heard. Like a windfall maybe coming your way.
I mean, you are a smart man. So some believe that if your palm itches you, then that means money is coming.
Yeah,
is what it says. And
yeah,
right palm versus left palm could mean something different, but they say itchy palms typically are good luck.
I haven't had this experience. Yeah, I mean, I've heard plenty of people talk about it, but yeah, that one doesn't carry any weight with me at all.
All right, we'll do. Yeah, we could do maybe 2 or 3. Walking under a ladder, bad luck. What's your take?
Makes sense. I mean, that one that one is not hard to understand why it exists, right? I think holding a ladder for somebody very much not bad luck.
Okay, yeah.
You know, they're going up on the roof and whatever. You have certain ladders that are not super stable, and you're holding it for them, making sure it's locked in as they're going onto the roof or something. You cannot tell me that that's bad luck, but yeah, I get like the A-frame one, right? And you walk like under that, between that, yeah, I get why that exists.
Should be careful. I know. So it says the shape of an open ladder is a triangle, which signifies life in some mythologies.
Oh.
When you walk through the triangle, it's though that you tempt the fates, and you also risk the awakening of spirits that live within the triangle.
Wow.
And then evil spirits that may not be happy with you disturbing them.
Oh, like you're stepping through some evil portal.
Yes.
That is unbelievable. That's the explanation. I,
I mean, the common sense one is also pretty good. You know, I probably do avoid. I can't say I've walked under a ladder.
yeah.
If I had the option of going around it, that is what I would do.
I bet a guy with a big belt buckle with wrenches and stuff one day had a big wrench fall as someone was walking underneath a ladder and
Yep.
killed him or something, you know? Yeah.
There you go. What's your take on breaking a mirror? Bad luck. 7 years. Not even like 2 days, not even a week. They're saying 7 years you break a mirror. Do you believe it?
I think it is. It's kind of bad to break a mirror, right? It's not fun. I did. You know what? Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see here. When I moved into my house, I put up a mirror like down the hallway there, right? And, you know, going into one of the bedrooms. I had this mirror at my old apartment and I put it up. And the very first moment that I put it up, as I slightly overscrewed it and it like splintered it a bit.
Okay. Yep.
I don't know if that's broken enough that you know that falls into that category. But I did kind of start poorly into my house. I just gotten out of it, although it happened just after. But I moved into this house right after like my worst breakup of my life, where I got broken up with. So it was kind of a bad start. You know, I sort of resented the house and everything. At the first couple years, I would say. So I don't know, maybe.
No, I sorry, I'm laughing. I'm not laughing at your situation. I don't know if I've ever broken a mirror.
That's the only time I have, I think.
So I've broken quite a few frames, like picture frames with glass in it.
Yeah,
but not a mirror where you're looking at yourself. Yeah,
that's different.
I guess. I mean, the other.
I'm trying to think.
On a good luck
I bet
one.
you there was some dumb like childhood moment where, you know, you're just being kids doing destructive stuff, and we found one in the park, or, you know, something like. I bet you once. No, I can't. No, I don't. I can't think of it though. Actually, nah. I think just this one that I screw a little too tight.
There's not too many good ones on this list, meaning good luck. The only other good luck one that's on this top 10 list is finding a horseshoe.
A horseshoe?
I mean, I can't say the last time I found a horseshoe on my travels.
I know, right?
I live in a horse town. I live in a horse town. I feel like I should.
I'm thinking like that sounds like something from like 1820. Right? That's probably what it is. You want to
know what they say?
Yeah.
They say if you find one of these good luck charms, pick it up with your right hand, spit on one end, make a wish, and toss it over your left shoulder, then leave it where it lands. I mean...
Whoa. Do not take this thing home or whatever, huh? Wow, okay.
Well, or place a horseshoe over the entrance to your home with the open ends up.
Well, that's
Indianapolis
completely different than the first suggestion. Okay. Interesting.
Those are your options.
Yeah, that's funny. I've definitely never found a horseshoe out in the world, so...
Well, there you go. I mean, there's a few more on this list. We'll also publish it in the description, but I've got some interesting quirks. I mean, maybe it's superstitions because I do this on a regular basis. I feel like if I'm presented with this scenario, this is what I do.
Okay.
And you know what? I'm calling it superstition. Maybe there's personal superstitions.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with a weird one.
Okay.
You take a shower.
Yep.
You probably don't have this, 10,000 gigawatt air dryer, so you're probably going to towel off. That's where I'm going with this. When I towel off, the towel has to be where the tag of the towel, because normally I still have the tag, like the little, like 100% cotton, 80% polyester, whatever that tag is that's on the towel, has to be facing me on the top left.
Whoa.
I will not just grab a towel and dry myself off. I will always look for the tag being in the top left, and then I will dry myself with that side of the towel facing me.
Wow. I mean, that is not where I would expect you to line up the tag too, because I'm like, it's probably the least comfortable part of the towel, right? So I would think you want it away.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So I don't know what you want to call that, but that is
It's a
something
pretty
that
good
I
one.
will do and purposely look out for it. I have had towels that maybe the tag is like in the middle of the towel, like on an edge. I have to make sure it's on the left side. It's not on the right side. It's not on the other side. The tag faces me, top left.
Wow. Yeah. That's a funny
Yeah,
one.
that's
Wow. Okay.
the other one I think is a little more, let's say people might do even. So this is a Coke bottle for those that are listening. I've got a Coke bottle in front of me. Anytime I have a bottle or a drink, a beverage that has the, barcode
Mm-hmm.
behind it and or the nutrition facts,
Mm-hmm.
one or the other, I will drink that bottle with the barcode facing me. So the
Oh,
barcode faces me,
wow.
and like typically what that means is you as the consumer, the other person, will see the name brand of whatever I'm drinking because it's typically on the opposite side. So I am showcasing the nice side of this water bottle and drinking from the barcoded side. Like that barcode is facing me. It's close to me. I do this and I will purposely turn bottles around because I will not drink of it in a different way.
Oh, that's funny. I look at labels very religiously. I almost always read labels of, anything, just any product.
Yep.
But yeah, I do not think about which direction it's facing as I'm drinking. That's a pretty funny one.
Man,
I
maybe I'm the weird one.
I bet you I do that with, like, let's say like a granola bar. Like let's say you open a granola bar, right? And you're eating like
Sure.
half of it. You just start eating it, right? Would you more likely take the whole thing out of the package, or would you be like eating it sort of in the package with some of it out?
Yeah. I eat it with it in the package.
Yes, yeah, I would do that too, up until a certain point, maybe the halfway point. I think halfway is when I would transfer.
Interesting.
But I think in that case, I would have the nutrition facts down.
Okay.
So
yeah, just
right. So granola bar here, right? Nutrition facts are going to be
facts down.
Yeah,
I could get behind that.
I'm going to have the Quaker Oats or whatever, whatever
right.
it is. That's going to be facing me.
Yeah. I love it. And I know it's like these personal superstitions that we even talked about. Maybe some sports athletes in particular have gone and like they would have a certain ritual they do before they, get up to bat or
interesting.
whatever.
Yeah. I have one like this. I'll throw one good one in. It started in like high school soccer, and this will be a little funny one because I know this is like a debate that rages sometimes too, right? But I remember so the 1 year of soccer, I think it was my senior year actually, or oh wait, no, I think it was junior year actually. Yeah, I think senior was a little different, but junior year, I was dealing with shin splints the whole season.
Okay.
And I don't know if you ever have them, but they're bad.
I've had it rarely.
Okay, yeah, it can be real bad. And it almost takes on this sort of like phantom pain kind of thing. It's one of those weird ones, right? Where you sort of can like overcome it mentally, but it is there, and it just kind of like it's kind of like a constant draining pain. It's not like a stabbing, searing, but it's like this constant drain. And I had it for like a whole season. And so anytime I would go, practice and everything, I actually was taking like Tylenol or whatever, like through a lot of the season. But I found the one time I like took a bath before a game. So a lot of, sometimes during games, we'd have a little bit of time to like go home and come back. You have a little window if it's a home game. And just to sort of like loosen up and warm up my body. And I know a lot of people like, like, ew, like just baths in general, right? Like, shower and they don't want to hear about baths, but
Yep.
just like that full body soak. And I had a good game. I was like really warmed up. I was really loose and all this stuff. And I just continued that on. Like, I don't think I ever told anybody, but whatever, my family would have
Y-
known, but like nobody else would have known that.
yeah, a bath.
Yeah.
And how did you play the rest of the season?
Oh, pretty well. I think, yeah. We had a pretty good season. Our team had low expectations. We went to the conference championship. We had an awesome run with a bunch of like penalty kick wins, penalty shootout wins that we had along the way. Like, it was a really cool season. But yeah, I think it helped me. So I don't even know, maybe ritual more so than superstition, because it wasn't. I don't feel like I feel like it actually helped me too.
Absolutely,
But
absolutely.
it's a little
And
weird. It's a little quirky.
we've all got them, right? I feel like we've all got quirks. I probably have a few more that are just like, what on earth? This guy's nuts. But yeah, I'm happy you shared that, because I think, a lot of our listeners, a lot of the viewers, you've probably got something too that is superstitious. You only do a thing a certain way. Always sleep on the right side of the bed,
Mm,
or maybe that's some more natural when it comes to, especially if you have a significant other. But there are probably some fun things that people do, and subconsciously you do it, and it just feels natural, but
yeah.
it may be superstitious, it might be weird. Yeah, for me, actually, both of them, funny enough, the bottle and the tag facing me is predominantly because I want the other person, even though 99% of the time no one else is in the bathroom when I'm taking a shower, or drying myself off. Like, I just want whoever's on the other side of me to see the best side of whether it's the towel or the bottle and the brand. Honestly, that is why
That
I
says
do it.
something about you. Yeah. Okay.
So
That's interesting. Yeah.
I I don't need to see it. So,
Funny.
gosh, that's a funny one. And with that being said, I think it's time for some high fives. So,
Yeah.
what do you think? All right,
Yeah.
you want to go? You want me to go?
I can throw one in. Yeah. I was. I. Yeah. I. I think we both were talking before. We're like, we knew it, and then
Yeah,
we forgot it, and then we knew it again. But yeah, I
that's
didn't know.
right.
I
That's
definitely
right.
know it.
I have to write
I
notes.
definitely know mine. Yeah, so not a person this week, but I'm gonna throw a high five out to Threads, the app.
You love the threads.
It's not
You love
bad.
you
Yeah,
you like the threads.
yeah, it's not
That
a
might
bad
be a better way
world.
to
I
say it.
mean, there is like, oh god, the way I feel like the whole internet is infected with like man versus woman battles, right?
Okay.
Just
Yep.
men are all, whatever, they're all broke and all this stuff and lazy, and then it's this constant back and forth battle, right? And so that's in there a bit, but not at the level of some of the other places. And also, like, it's kind of a Twitter killer, right? It's or X. um
Okay. Yep.
um but it's just
I
a
need to get on this.
yeah, it's just like a bit more wholesome place. Like, the main thing about it is just that like discussions can happen in there. It's just a pretty cool place. Like, you can actually get some good intellectual discussions in there.
Is it like Reddit but for Instagram or your phone? Even though Reddit has an app.
Yeah, more so like Twitter, I guess. Somebody
Okay.
posts something and then it's the back and forth, public back and forth, about that topic. And there's some people that are in
Okay.
there just putting up rage bait topics intentionally. Um,
Sure.
but there's a good amount of people that are just having just legitimate discussions. Now that I bring this up, I think I may have used this previously, because I seem to
You
remember.
You
talking about
mentioned
this.
Threads, but I don't think it was a high five. I think it was just something that you've gotten into.
Okay. All right. I don't feel as bad. But yeah, I did remember talking about it. I'm like, oh shoot. Okay, as long as I haven't used it. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's worthy of it. It's a pretty good place. It's not a total mess. Like, you can have some intelligent discussions if you curate your little environment properly. You don't like too many trashy things or whatever. You keep it like in a good place. It can be a decent place on the internet.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know, like, I was looking at my phone. I don't have Threads, but on Instagram, like, it'll bring up some really fun facts. And usually to me it shows me, the algorithm shows me statistics and something going on. And and I'm like, oh, this is actually interesting. I want to read up on it. I can't, because it says you got to download the app. You got to see more. I don't have the app.
I feel it's decent. I think I have like 50 followers. Actually, let me check. It's not like this big. And you know, I'm actually, because of the music and you know, we're doing everything, like, I actually am like more invested in like trying to build some kind of followings and stuff. Oh, 76. Never mind. That's not hard.
There you go.
It's not horrible. It's not good, but you know, whatever. It's more than zero.
But we you know what? We're gonna get that with our show.
Yeah. We should be on there.
Help us get to 76. 76
I will my personal account. I'll battle
not you, but
I'll battle my personal account against our podcast account. That'll be fun.
There you okay.
Run a race.
HighFiveGuys does Threads. That could be next level.
We should be in there actually. Actually, it's we belong in there, to be honest. Like, the topics we bring up are it's good in there. They're conversation starters.
You will have to teach me your ways. I feel like a sloth.
I'll do that
when it comes.
This will be my homework. So anybody watching, like, they'll know. If you don't see Threads showing up fairly soon after this, you'll know that I failed. Okay. Yeah. What do you got?
Nice.
What do you got this week?
So mine, I've got an athlete that had a great performance over the last few days in the European Championships. And it goes to
track?
Anna Kash. Yeah, okay. Track and field, the 400-meter final for women. The Polish Anna Kaczmarek.
Yes, so I do know her.
I am super excited. I think she is the first ever Polish woman to win the 400-meter European Championships. I've looked online a long time to find stats that go far back.
Europe, yeah.
I don't think I don't think anybody from Poland's won it. If you do not know, for those listening, I have a Polish background. I've done a little ancestry.com stuff, 23andMe, and it's saying you are 99% Eastern European. That's where you're from. So my mom's from Poland. My dad's right on the border, Poland, Belarus, where he's from. So I was super excited to see her win the 400-meter finals in the European Championships, and it was a Polish national record. So it was 48.98 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
That is faster. Wow. Okay. Yeah. That's okay. That's a good one.
So,
no Femke Bol, right? She's doing the hurdles. Is that what happened there?
Femke Bol did the hurdles.
Okay. Yeah.
I actually don't know. Right? I should know who won that.
She's
top
an
list.
Absolute terror. Yeah, that would have been incredible if Femke Bol was in the race and she beat her. But she probably was doing her. I heard she's doing hurdles. Sydney McLaughlin's doing hurdles rather than the 400.
Yeah, and I think Sydney, I think she's trying to do both, right? The hurdles and then the 400 meters.
I don't think so. She'll do the relay and stuff, but she just ran a 400 flat, but she's doing hurdles in the Olympics. That's what I heard.
Okay. See, word spreading, rumors are spreading. You probably know more than me, but we love track and field. So like getting to talk about this.
No,
Olympics are
probably
coming up.
Not one other person watching does, but that's all right. Maybe they get interested in it because of us. We'll see.
Absolutely. So shout out. Just again, the fact that Anna, Polish heritage,
awesome.
And nationality. I mean, really good job. She did beat out second place by just, I think, 0.2 of a second. So there was the lady that finished second was from
the Dutch
let me just
girl?
pull it up. Adeliki, Irish.
Oh, her, yeah,
Rashida Adeliki, yeah.
She's amazing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Her,
I probably
and there's
butchered that
another
name. So
Dutch girl, like on that same team that Femke Bowles always like. That's why their team's always nasty in the 4x4 because they have two that are like absolute world class.
just absolutely. And you know what? We may not be
Lieke
world
Klaver, that's
class.
her name. Lieke
Yeah,
Klaver.
yes. She finished third
Okay,
in the
yeah.
400
Yep.
meter. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of good athletes out there, and we may not be the fastest on the track. We may not be the best on the track, but hopefully we are bringing some A+ world class conversation, talent, and positive vibes to everybody here on this podcast. That's for sure. We love doing this. This is probably our longest podcast that we've done so far, and really just appreciate you tuning in. We have no idea how long these things are going. Feel free to leave us some comments. Let us know if it's too long, it's a good length, you want it to be longer. We'll talk longer. We've got stuff to say.
We're good with hard truths, right? We actually self-reflect and look at ourselves, and introspection is important. So yeah, more so than like hurting our feelings or whatever. It's like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So keep the comments coming, but please like, comment, subscribe. Yeah, comment. Let us know what your pet peeves are, what your weird quirks or superstitions are, whether it's in the house or, on the battlefield as you tackle everyday life. But, thanks so much for tuning in to us and just, giving us a chance and a shot. We love talking to you. We love sharing some fun facts and some high fives and some fun topics each and every week. So thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Todd, you are the man. And for probably this hour and 10 minutes that we've been on, really thought those were little watermelon slices on your shirt.
Oh, no. This is the abstract design. It was like inspired by like the Kenyan team of like the previous Olympics, or it was very similar to this. So yeah. Yep.
I love
something
it.
I found online.
So I probably it looks great. I probably need to get my eyes checked again. So gosh. But with that being said, thanks so much everybody for tuning in. Have a great day. Have an enjoyable week. It's going to be a great week. Stay positive, be positive. It's going to be awesome. We'll see you on the next episode.
Good stuff. Yep.